Episode 5. The Husband's Suspicion. It was a clear afternoon. When Mary left the house, she got into the car with practiced ease. Bill, watching her from the kitchen window, made a firm decision in his mind. Today, I'll follow her. Her behavior these past few weeks just doesn't sit right. He waited until her car was out of sight, then hurried to his own car and started the engine. Seeing Mary's car head out of town, Bill began to follow at a safe distance. His heart was pounding, and his palms were sweaty. Thoughts swirled in his mind. What is happening? Where is she going? Mary's car moved away from the city center and onto a country road. Bill tried to stay calm despite the growing tension. As he followed, he barely noticed the lush countryside and wildflowers along the roadside, his eyes fixed on the car ahead. Why is she heading this way? He wondered, pressing the accelerator a bit more. Eventually, Mary's car stopped in front of a small cabin. Bill parked a little distance away and watched as Mary got out of the car, looked around, and went inside the cabin. What is she doing? Bill murmured, his heart racing as he got out of his car and cautiously approached the cabin. He peered through the window and froze. Inside, Mary was sitting close to Jack by the fireplace. Bill stood there, forgetting to breathe for a moment. A surge of anger and sadness hit him all at once. He clenched his fists, his trembling hand gripping the window frame. Is this real? He asked himself over and over, stepping back slowly. He walked back to his car and leaned his head on the steering wheel. Tears blurred his vision. It felt like an eternity, but only a few minutes had passed. Back home, Bill waited in the living room for Mary to return. He tried to regain his composure, suppressing the anger boiling inside him. His hands still trembled slightly. Late that night, when Mary came home, Bill stood up and quietly said, "Mary, we need to talk. Now." Mary, sensing something was wrong from his expression, asked, "What happened, Bill?" Bill took a deep breath and spoke calmly but firmly, "I followed you today. I saw you with Jack at the cabin." Mary's face turned pale as the blood drained from it. Realizing she couldn't lie, she sighed deeply. "Bill, I'm sorry. I wanted to tell you, but I couldn't find the words." Suppressing his anger, Bill demanded, "Why, Mary? Why did you do this?" Holding back tears, Mary replied, "I don't know what I was doing. I was lonely. Since the kids left, I felt something missing between us." Bill stood silent for a moment, then quietly said, "We need to talk about what to do next." That night, they stayed up late in the living room, facing each other. The only sound was the quiet ticking of the wall clock. They looked at each other seriously. For the first time, Mary opened up to Bill. "Bill, I'm really sorry. I felt suffocated in our life together. After the kids left, I felt like our relationship changed." Bill sighed deeply. "I feel the same, Mary. I wasn't trying hard enough to understand you. I didn't realize you were feeling lonely." Mary wiped away her tears and said, "But that's no excuse. I was just trying to fill the void by seeing Jack. I'm truly sorry, Bill." Bill took her hand and held it tightly. "It's true you made a mistake, but we can only fix our relationship by facing it together." They continued talking, laying bare their feelings and thoughts. Mary promised to end her relationship with Jack, and Bill vowed to make an effort to trust her again. Despite their tears, they touched each other's true feelings for the first time and resolved to move forward together. That night, they went back to their bedroom, holding hands as they fell asleep. They didn't know what the future held, but for that night, they vowed to stay close and take the first step toward rebuilding trust and love. To be continued in episode 6.